Welcome to this channel where we explore spirituality, meditation, self awareness, and esoteric philosophies, all with the goal of helping you tap into your own wisdom. In this video, we'll delve into the role of belief in modern spirituality. The spiritual teachings of today seem to be divided into three distinct views on belief. The first view encourages followers to maintain a positive outlook on life, embracing only positive beliefs and interpretations of reality. The second perspective advocates adopting a certain worldview that gives meaning to one's life, accompanied by specific rules and practices. The third stance emphasizes the importance of letting go of all interpretations and beliefs, promoting an objective perception of reality as it truly is. However, all these views converge on one crucial idea: your perception shapes your reality. This concept has long been a speculative point in philosophy, but it has been backed up by recent social and neuroscientific experiments like the placebo experiment, where people healed simply by believing that the pill they were given is going to heal them, although they were given a simple sugar pill that had no medical powers. And so there is no denying that beliefs play a significant role in creating our reality. That we as humans don't see reality as it is. Rather, we see it through our own projections and subjectivity. Even seemingly objective experiences like smell, color, the voice narrating this video, are always perceived from the point of view of the experiencer, you. The outside world is always experienced within the framework of someone's nervous system, so you only experience you. So, if implementing a belief is so powerful and can even heal us, why do many spiritual teachers encourage people to renounce beliefs? One reason is that you don't really know what's good for you. The experiences you dreaded the most were your biggest lessons. The challenges you went through gave you so much growth and compassion. With this recognition, the notion of positive and negative crumbles altogether. Plus, resisting negative thoughts only makes them unconscious. Anything you resist persists. It can take another form, but it's always there, driving you unconsciously. The goal of the spiritual seeker is to find out the truth of this existence. Any interpretation of reality, no matter how beneficial it seems to be, keeps you from seeing reality as it truly is. This realization can confuse you, as you know by now how powerful your beliefs are, and you find yourself torn between implementing desirable beliefs and observing objectively. But as Carl Jung brilliantly said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. This usually brings about a yearning to know the truth, to bring more consciousness into our lives, and marks the end of many positive thinkers' journey, as they now enter a deeper dimension of being, beyond any desire of self-improvement. And their life journey transforms from chasing a more positive experience to chasing a meaningful and truthful one. And this brings us to the second viewpoint. Many people have been raised or have chosen at a certain point in their life to believe in a specific interpretation of reality. We usually call this faith, religion, or a spiritual doctrine. Your faith here is considered something to hold on to, in hopes of a higher spiritual status, to become enlightened, or in religious terms, to please God. In the pursuit of this, one is presented with a set of beliefs and practices, with the promise of reward for dedication and unwavering adherence, a commitment often described as having faith. For many, taking a dedicated step towards a specific interpretation of reality is crucial in their spiritual journey. However, when the longing to find a higher purpose in life meets the discomfort of uncertainty, many individuals settle for a particular interpretation of reality and hardly question it again. While their belief may be interesting and perhaps even accurate, the fact that they haven't personally arrived at these conclusions makes their understanding superficial. They might be spiritual seekers who contemplate and question reality, but they're bounded by a rigid framework of beliefs through which they unconsciously perceive the world, making any genuine and direct insight into reality nearly impossible. Do not repeat after me words that you do not understand. Do not merely put on a mask of my ideas, for it will be an illusion, and you will thereby deceive yourself. Jiddu Krishnamurti. Indeed, any belief we have constitutes a thin veil over the truth. If we know that our mind is always looking for ways to reinforce our assumptions, that it quickly dismisses anything that challenges its foundational convictions, then the only way to know if it's really true is to let go of that belief and see if it's objectively true. Which ultimately brings us to renouncing concepts. What usually drives a spiritual seeker to renounce all beliefs and attachments is glimpsing at the true nature of reality. Having pierced into a hypnotizing transcendental state of being that is beyond any mental or physical approach, and that can only be described as having a direct experience of reality. If you have reached there, you will recognize that what is veiling you from it is your own attachments and beliefs. Mind is consciousness which has put on limitations. You are originally unlimited and perfect. Later, you take on limitations and become the mind. Ramana Maharshi. This realization can also be the result of recognizing the limitation of the mind, that any intellectual interpretation, no matter how good it is, always remains as an attempt to describe the indescribable truth. When you push your mind to the limit by asking yourself relentlessly if what you're thinking is 100% correct, you will find that no thought is flawless. And when you see for yourself that the mind is limited, you are left with only one option, and that is to renounce all beliefs and come back to the present moment with fresh eyes. That's why this can't be another belief. Rather, this is a realization that ends all realizations. With this recognition, the hypnosis of mental activity loses its power over you. You will no longer see the mind as the primary subject of experience. It becomes secondary, and you stop seeing it as the most honest and direct representation of yourself. Or in other terms, you stop identifying yourself with your thoughts. This detachment allows you to see more clearly your mind games and distortions. You can finally see the impulsive tendency of the mind to quickly judge things as correct and incorrect, as good and bad. And so, for the impulsive mind, renouncing positive beliefs seems stupid. The mind may agree to renounce negative beliefs, but it draws so much excitement and energy from positive beliefs. However, for the true spiritual seeker, truth is all that matters, and any belief we hold on to, no matter how beneficial it seems, creates attachment and distorts reality. As you start renouncing thoughts and beliefs, you may feel like you're robbing yourself of your own happiness. You may feel bored and empty for a while, But soon enough, a natural and subtle joy will arise, a love for life that is unconditional and beyond any mental interpretation. There can be no effort to pursue this path of renunciation. And again, it's not a belief. It's not something that you do. It's the recognition of the mind limitation that sets the spontaneous revolution. This doesn't mean in no shape or form to resist your own thoughts. This isn't a cynical rejection of the mind. This is, on the contrary, total openness to whatever appears in your screen of consciousness. Now that you no longer confuse thoughts and perspectives with the truth, you will see things more clearly, and you won't be bothered if your mind is agitated or not. You are not the mind. If you know you are not the mind, then what difference does it make if it's busy or quiet? You are not the mind. Nisargadatta Maharaj. So the invitation of this video is not to force an empty state of mind. It's to reignite the fire of curiosity in you, to look at every thought with fresh eyes, to observe objectively. And every time you snap out of an illusory thought, you will find yourself back in that neutral emptiness, and you will simply relax back into your true self. And if you are implementing positive thoughts and specific beliefs, that's fine too. The suggestion here is to spend the same amount of time and energy observing objectively. And remember that there is always a more profound, more accurate way of perceiving reality, and that clinging to your current beliefs will keep you stuck. With this simple but powerful recognition, you stop wasting your time on new ideologies that would actually cover up your ultimate truth. And you start going back to yourself directly. And that's the direct path. Many spiritual and religious practices focus on uplifting the personal self, whereas self-inquiry quickly exposes the person as limited and false, so that further time is not wasted on continuing a ghost story. Mooji.